I was sitting at my kitchen table, coffee still warm in my hand, when the email notification lit up my phone. It was from my son, Robert, with the subject line, "Great news about the reunion." My heart lifted. Robert and I had been talking about the annual Thompson family reunion for weeks. It was the first one since my wife Margaret passed away 3 years ago, and I'd been looking forward to seeing everyone again, especially my grandson, Tyler. But as I opened the email and started reading, the smile slowly faded from my face. "Hey, Dad, just wanted to give you a heads up about the reunion. Amanda and I have been talking, and we think it might be better if this year is just the immediate family. You know, me, Amanda, and Tyler. We're planning to stay the whole week at the lodge, and with Tyler's schedule and everything, it'll be easier to keep it small. Hope you understand. We'll send you lots of photos." I read it 3 times, trying to make sense of the words. Immediate family? I was his father. I'd raised Robert by myself after his mother died when he was 12. I'd worked 2 jobs to put him through college. And now I wasn't considered immediate family? My hand trembled slightly as I set down the phone. The Thompson family reunion had been a tradition for over 40 years. My parents started it, then Margaret and I took over organizing it. Even after she died, I'd still coordinated it every year, booking the same lakeside lodge in Pine Ridge, Minnesota, making sure everyone knew the dates, arranging the group activities. This year, I'd already paid the deposit for the lodge, $3,500 out of my retirement savings, because Robert said he'd been too busy with work to handle it. I took a deep breath and called him. He answered on the 3rd ring, and I could hear Tyler chattering in the background. "Hey, Dad, did you get my email?" "I did," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Robert, I'm not sure I understand. You want to go to the family reunion without me?" There was a pause. "It's not like that, Dad. It's just, Amanda thinks it would be good for us to have some bonding time as our little family unit, you know? Just the 3 of us. No offense. But sometimes with the extended family thing, it gets overwhelming for Tyler." Tyler was 7 years old. The last reunion, he'd had the time of his life, swimming in the lake and roasting marshmallows with his cousins. "Robert, I've already paid for the lodge reservation." "Oh, right. Yeah, we were meaning to talk to you about that. Could we maybe use that reservation? Since you're not going anyway, it seems like a waste to cancel it." Something cold settled in my chest. "You want me to pay for a vacation I'm not invited to?" "Dad, don't be dramatic. We can pay you back eventually. Things are just tight right now." Tight. I thought about the $47,000 I'd given them 18 months ago when Amanda needed emergency surgery. She'd had a serious complication during childbirth with their 2nd child, Emma, who sadly didn't survive. The medical bills had been crushing. Their insurance had denied most of the claims, calling it a pre-existing condition because of Amanda's gestational diabetes. Robert had called me in tears, desperate. I'd emptied my savings account without hesitation. Family comes first, I'd thought. They'd promised to pay me back in installments. I'd received exactly 1 payment of $200, 14 months ago. "We'll talk about this later," I said quietly, and ended the call. I sat there for a long time, staring at nothing. Then I opened my laptop and logged into my email, thinking maybe I'd forward some old reunion photos to Robert, remind him of the good times we'd all had together. That's when I saw it. An email in my spam folder from 3 days ago with the subject line Dad situation. I almost deleted it. Almost. But something made me click on it. It was a forwarded email chain. The original sender was Amanda, my daughter-in-law. My stomach turned as I read. "Robert, I really think we need to put our foot down about this reunion. Your dad is sweet and all, but he's getting old and honestly kind of depressing to be around since Margaret died. Tyler asks me why Grandpa is always sad, and I don't know what to tell him. Plus, the lodge only has 3 bedrooms, and I was really looking forward to having our own space without having to tiptoe around your dad's feelings all week. I know he paid the deposit, but he can afford it. It's not like he has anything else to spend money on. He lives in that little house, all by himself anyway. This trip should be about our family, not babysitting your elderly father." Robert's response was worse. "You're right. I'll tell him it's an immediate family thing. He'll understand. He always does. And yeah, might as well use the reservation since it's already paid for. Win-win. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I read the emails again, then a third time, making sure I wasn't misunderstanding. But there was no misunderstanding. My son and his wife had deliberately excluded me from a family tradition I'd maintained for decades after I'd given them nearly $50,000 when they were in crisis. He can afford it. It's not like he has anything else to spend money on. I closed the laptop and walked to my bedroom, to the small desk where I kept my financial documents. I pulled out my bank statements and spread them on the bed. After Margaret died, I'd had about $120,000 in savings. The reunion deposit was $3,500. The medical bills for Amanda were $47,000. There was also the $5,000 I'd given them last Christmas because Amanda wanted a proper family holiday with professional photos and new outfits for everyone. The $2,800 for Tyler's private kindergarten tuition last year when they said they couldn't afford it. The $1,500 car repair when Robert's transmission failed. All told, I'd given them $59,800 in the past 2 years. My current balance was $52,450. I was 68 years old, living on Social Security and a modest pension from my 40 years as a postal worker. Margaret's medical bills before she died had taken a significant chunk of our savings. I'd been careful, frugal, skipping vacations, and eating simple meals so I'd have something to leave Robert and Tyler someday. And they thought I was kind of depressing to be around. I sat on the bed for a long time, holding those bank statements. Then I made a decision. I called the Pine Ridge Lodge directly. A cheerful woman named Susan answered. "Hi, this is Richard Morrison. I made a reservation for the Thompson family reunion, July 14th through 21st. "Oh yes, Mr. Morrison. We have you down. Everything okay? I need to cancel the reservation." "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Is everything all right? According to our records, you've been coming here for, let me check, over 20 years. 23 years, I said, but I won't be able to make it this year. Can I get a refund on my deposit?" "Well, our policy is that deposits are non-refundable within 60 days of the reservation. But given your long history with us, let me talk to my manager. Can I call you back?" "Yes, please." She called back within an hour. "Mr. Morrison, my manager says we can refund half your deposit as a courtesy. That would be $1,750. The other half we'll have to keep, but we can apply it to a future reservation if you'd like." "The refund is fine. Thank you, Susan. Should I cancel the entire reservation or just remove some people from it?" I paused. An idea was forming. "Actually, keep the reservation active, but change the name from the Thompson family reunion to just Richard Morrison, Party of One." "You're going by yourself?" "I am now." After I hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Not quite peace, but something close. Clarity, maybe. My phone rang. "Robert." "Hey, Dad. So Amanda and I were talking more about the reunion, and we were thinking about the deposit you paid. Since we're using the lodge anyway, it doesn't make sense for you to get a refund. We can just consider that your contribution to the trip. The reservation has been changed," I said calmly. "It's in my name now, Party of One." "What? Dad? What are you talking about?" "I'm going to the reunion. Just me. You and Amanda will need to make your own arrangements." "Dad, come on, don't be like this. We can talk about it." "You're right. We should talk. Let's start with the $47,000 I gave you for Amanda's medical bills. When can I expect that back?" Silence. "Dad, you know we're still recovering from that. We have a payment plan with the hospital for the remaining bills, and—" "The bills I paid off entirely," I interrupted. "The hospital sent me a thank you letter for the full payment. I have it framed in my office." "Well, yeah, but there were other expenses. Funeral costs for Emma, therapy for Amanda, lost wages. None of which you mentioned when you said you'd pay me back. You made one payment of $200 14 months ago. Should I expect the rest in $200 increments? Because at that rate, I'll be 95 years old when you finish." "Dad, what's gotten into you? This isn't like you." I saw the emails, Robert. Another silence. Longer this time. What emails? The ones where Amanda called me depressing and old. And you agreed that I'd understand being excluded. Where you both decided I can afford to pay for vacations I'm not invited to because I live alone and have nothing else to spend money on. I heard muffled voices. Robert had put his hand over the phone. Then Amanda's voice came through, sharp and defensive. Richard, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Put Robert back on. No, I think we need to talk about this. You're taking things out of context. I was just venting to my husband in a private email. Everyone says things they don't mean when they're stressed. You meant every word, I said quietly. And that's fine. You're entitled to your feelings. But you're not entitled to my money. Your money? You gave us that money. You can't just ask for it back now because your feelings are hurt. Actually, I can. I have the text messages where Robert promised to pay it back. I have the bank transfers marked loan for medical expenses. I also have a lawyer friend who's very interested in this situation. You're threatening to sue your own son? Amanda's voice went up an octave. Over money you volunteered to give us? What kind of father does that? The kind who's tired of being treated like an ATM. Put Robert back on, more muffled arguing. Then Robert's voice, strained. Dad, please, let's not do this. Amanda's sorry. I'm sorry. We didn't mean to hurt you. Do you actually want me at the reunion, Robert? Pause. Of course I do. That's not what your email said. Your email said Amanda wanted space from her elderly father-in-law, and you agreed it was a win-win to exclude me. I was just trying to keep the peace with my wife, Dad. You know how she can be. And there it was. The truth I'd been avoiding for 3 years, since Robert married Amanda. I'd watched my son slowly disappear into her wants, her needs, her expectations. I'd told myself it was normal for a man to prioritize his wife. Margaret had always said a good marriage meant being a team, but Margaret had never made me choose between her and my father. She'd welcomed my parents with open arms, called my mother every Sunday, took my father fishing on his birthday. Robert, I need you to listen to me very carefully. I'm going to the reunion, alone. I'm going to swim in the lake, read my books, take walks in the woods, and remember my wife without being called depressing for grieving her. You and Amanda need to figure out your own vacation. Dad, we can't afford. Then don't go. Or maybe ask Amanda's parents for help. I notice her mother never contributes when you need money. Her parents aren't well off like you. I'm not well off, Robert. I'm a retired postal worker, living on a fixed income. I gave you almost $60,000 in 2 years. That's not well off. That's a father liquidating his retirement so his son doesn't lose everything. 60,000? It wasn't that much. I rattled off the numbers. The medical bills, the Christmas money, the tuition, the car repair, the reunion deposit, even a few hundred here and there that I'd almost forgotten. I kept track, I said, because you promised to pay it back, and I trusted you. Robert was quiet for a long moment. I didn't realize it was so much. Because you didn't ask. You just assumed I had unlimited resources and unlimited willingness to fund your life. So what now? You're just cutting us off? I'm setting boundaries. If you want a relationship with me, it starts with respect. If you want financial help in the future, it starts with paying back what you already owe. And if Amanda has a problem with that, then you have a choice to make. A choice? Dad, she's my wife. And I'm your father, the one who raised you alone after Mom died. The one who worked 60-hour weeks so you could go to college debt-free. The one who was there for you when everyone else left. I'm not asking you to choose between us. I'm asking you to stand up for our relationship the same way you stand up for hers. I hung up before he could respond. The next few weeks were quiet. Robert called twice, but I didn't answer. He left voicemails saying we needed to talk, that I was being unreasonable, that family doesn't keep score like this. I deleted them. Amanda texted me once. You're going to regret destroying your relationship with your grandson over money. I responded, I'm not destroying anything. You did that when you decided I was too old and depressing to include in family events. Tyler is welcome to call me anytime. You have my number. Then I blocked her. The reunion came. I drove to Pine Ridge alone. the 7-hour trip giving me plenty of time to think. The lodge was as beautiful as I remembered. Susan greeted me warmly, didn't ask about my family, and showed me to a cabin with a view of the lake. I spent the week exactly as I'd planned. I swam every morning, just like Margaret and I used to do. I read 3 books I'd been meaning to get to. I took long walks and watched sunsets and ate simple meals at the lodge restaurant. I thought about my wife, about our life together, about the son we'd raised, and I wasn't depressing. I was grieving, which is different. I was healing, which takes time. And for the first time since Margaret died, I felt like I had permission to do both without someone making me feel guilty about it. On the 4th day, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Grandpa?" Tyler's voice, small and uncertain. "Hey, buddy. How are you?" "I'm okay. Mommy's mad because we didn't get to go to the lake. She said you took our vacation." I closed my eyes. Of course, she'd told him that. "Tyler, I'm at the lake right now. Would you like to talk to me about it?" Daddy's sad. "He said you're mad at him." "I'm not mad, Tyler. Sometimes grown-ups have disagreements, and we need time to figure things out. But I'm not mad at you, and I love you very much." "I love you too, Grandpa. Will you come to my birthday next month?" "We'll see, buddy. Let me talk to your dad first, okay?" "Okay. Here he is." Robert's voice came on the line. "Dad, I'm sorry. For everything. Amanda and I have been fighting a lot since the reunion fell through. She's angry at both of us now. She said I should have stood up to you, gotten the reservation anyway. She doesn't understand why I didn't just..." He stopped. "Why you didn't just what? Forge your name or something. She said you're old and you probably wouldn't even notice." The casual cruelty of it took my breath away. "And what did you say to that?" I told her absolutely not. That you're my father and she needs to show you some respect. We've been arguing about it for 3 weeks now. She thinks I'm choosing you over her. "Are you?" Long pause. "I don't know, Dad. I love her. She's the mother of my son, but she's been saying things lately that I can't ignore anymore. About you, about money, about what she deserves. And I keep thinking about that email you saw, how she called you depressing. I never should have gone along with that. Mom would be ashamed of me." My throat tightened. "Your mother would be proud of the man you became, Robert. But she'd want you to be happy, and I don't think you are." "I'm not," he admitted quietly. "Amanda's always angry that we don't have more. Bigger house, newer car, better vacations. I work 50 hours a week, and it's never enough. And now she's furious that we can't afford to go anywhere this summer because I won't make you give us the lodge reservation. She thinks you can make me do something? She thinks I'm weak because I won't manipulate my own father." Those were her exact words. We sat with that for a moment. "Robert, I need you to understand something. I didn't cut you off to punish you. I did it to protect myself. I'm 68 years old. I have maybe 20 good years left if I'm lucky, and I'm not spending them feeling like a burden to my own son. You were never a burden, Dad. I'm so sorry I made you feel that way. Then show me. Make a payment plan for what you owe me. Come to my house and have dinner with Tyler. Just the 3 of us. Let me be his grandfather without Amanda's commentary. Prove to me that our relationship matters as much to you as it does to me." "What if Amanda won't let me?" "Then you already have your answer about who you chose." He called me 2 days later. He'd opened a separate bank account and transferred $500 into it. "It's not much," he said, "but I'll add $300 every month. At that rate, I'll have it paid back in 16 years. I'll be 84 years old," I said. "I know, but I'll pay it back, Dad. Every penny. I promise." "I believe you." The next month, on Tyler's birthday, Robert brought him to my house for the afternoon. Amanda didn't come. Robert didn't explain why, and I didn't ask. We grilled burgers, played catch in the backyard, and Tyler showed me his new skateboard. It was the best birthday party I'd been to in years. 2 months after that, Robert called and asked if he could come over alone. We sat on my back porch with beers, watching the sun go down. "Amanda and I are separating," he said quietly. "I'm sorry." "Are you?" He looked at me. "You never liked her." "I wanted to like her. I wanted her to be good to you and good for you. But no, I didn't like the way she treated you, or me, or the whole concept of money. She served me with divorce papers last week. Says I'm not ambitious enough. That she married me expecting a certain lifestyle and I haven't delivered. Her lawyer's going after half of everything, including the house, which you bought with money I loaned you. Yeah. The lawyer pointed that out. Said since it was a loan with documented repayment terms, it's a debt, not a gift. So half the house value minus half the debt. Amanda would actually owe me money in the split. I didn't say anything. Her lawyer advised her to settle quickly before it goes to court. She's dropping the whole thing. I keep the house. She gets her car and personal belongings. We'll share custody of Tyler 50-50. How do you feel about that? Relieved, he admitted. Guilty for feeling relieved. Worried about Tyler. But mostly free. Is that terrible? It's honest. We sat in silence for a while, listening to the crickets. I found something when I was packing up Amanda's stuff, Robert said. Emails between her and her sister. Going back 2 years. Talking about how she married me because I had a rich dad who'd help us out. How disappointed she was that you were just a regular retired guy and not loaded. How she was going to convince me to pressure you for more money. Robert, she married me for your money, Dad. Money you didn't even have. And I was so in love with her, so desperate to make her happy, that I let her use both of us. You couldn't have known. I should have. The signs were all there. Mom never would have. His voice cracked. Mom would have seen right through her. I reached over and squeezed his shoulder. We sat like that until the stars came out. 3 months later, the divorce was final. Robert's name was the only one on the house deed. Amanda moved to Arizona with a new boyfriend she'd apparently been seeing for months. Tyler stayed with Robert during the school year and visited Amanda on holidays. Robert kept up his monthly payments, every single one. After the first year, he'd paid back $3,600. It wasn't much against the total, but it was something. It was respect. It was acknowledgement. Dad, he said one Sunday afternoon when he and Tyler had come over for lunch. I've been thinking about something. What's that? Next summer. The reunion. Could we go together? You, me, and Tyler? I'll pay for my and Tyler's portion. Same lodge, same week. Start the tradition again. But maybe better this time. I looked at my son. He'd lost weight since the separation, but he looked healthier somehow. Less stressed. His eyes were clearer. And Tyler was thriving, skateboarding in my driveway while we talked, happy and carefree. I'd like that, I said. Really? Really. Tyler whooped when we told him. We called the Pine Ridge Lodge right then, and Susan answered. Mr. Morrison! So good to hear from you. Let me guess. You want your usual week next July? I do. But this time, party of 3. Wonderful. And the name for the reservation? I looked at Robert, at Tyler doing tricks on his skateboard, at the life we were rebuilding together. The Morrison family reunion, I said. Just the 3 of us. Perfect, Susan said warmly. I'll get you set up. After Robert and Tyler left that evening, I sat on my porch with a beer and thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the hurt, the decision to set boundaries, the hard conversations, the slow healing. It hadn't been easy. There were moments I'd wondered if I'd done the right thing, if I should have just smiled and accepted being excluded, kept the peace, continued being the ATM. But then I thought about Robert's clear eyes, his regular payments, his Sunday visits. I thought about Tyler asking me to teach him to fish. I thought about next summer at the lodge, just the 3 of us, swimming in the lake and roasting marshmallows and not tiptoeing around anyone's feelings. I thought about Margaret and what she'd say about all this. She'd probably tell me I should have set boundaries sooner. She'd definitely say I did the right thing by standing up for myself. And she'd be proud of Robert for choosing integrity over comfort. My phone buzzed. A text from Robert. Tyler wants to know if you can come to his soccer game on Saturday. I told him you probably have plans, but he wanted me to ask anyway. I smiled and typed back, tell him I'll be there. Front row. 3 dots appeared, then, thanks, Dad, for everything. I sat there in the gathering dark, holding my phone, and for the first time in 3 years, I didn't feel like a burden. I didn't feel depressing or old or in the way. I felt like a father who'd taught his son an important lesson about respect and boundaries. I felt like a grandfather who'd have many more soccer games and skateboard lessons and lake vacations ahead of him. I felt like myself again. And that, I thought, as I finished my beer and headed inside, was worth more than any vacation, any family gathering, any amount of money I'd ever spent trying to buy belonging in my own family. Sometimes the best thing you can give someone is the truth, even when it hurts, even when it costs you, especially then. Because real family, the kind that lasts, is built on respect, not obligation, on love, not transactions, on honesty, not keeping score. And sometimes, setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about making room for them to come back better.